Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you made it here. So I haven't posted in a little bit and I hope you didn't forget about me. So I decided I'm gonna take all my collected vlogs throughout the month and put it into a little visual diary, I guess, and a little visual journal. So yeah, here is all I did in August, which I feel like I did nothing. I tried to do some meal prepping in the beginning of the month. I started with making some eggs and as you can see, I started recording every single meal that I was making, and I thought, okay, maybe this is going to turn into everything I ate in August video. But I was also editing my moving vlog at that time, so I basically barely had time or energy actually to work on a new video. I think I started the month strong. I was prepping eggs and I made scrambled eggs and boiled eggs, and these would have helped sustain the two of us in the apartment. And I thought I was going to pair it with some sausage or some bacon. I also thought in the beginning that maybe if I had some iced coffee, as in some coffee ice, as you can see in the clip, and I started doing that, and I did that for maybe the first few days, and obviously I gave up because it was really hot in the beginning of August, and so it was taking up too much space in my freezer, and I thought I would use the trays for actual ice instead. So I went back to making actual coffee the usual way that I make it, which is using my ceramic V60 and using a coffee filter and just putting ground coffee in there. Sometimes I would make my own ground coffee using whole beans, and then I quickly switched to the ground coffee. I do want to get whole bean coffee one day, but for now I think ground coffee is just fine. This was a quick lunch I decided to work on the day I was meal prepping, with some whole grain protein bread, some ricotta cheese, some spring mix, tomatoes, and some bacon I had in the fridge, and I put together a quick little BLT. I also put some pickled onions I had in the fridge, which I honestly had them in the fridge for a long time, so they did not taste that great. But I also put in a little bit of balsamic vinegar with the tomatoes, and that really I don't know, it was great. I've been meaning to unbox all the frames that we have, the bigger ones at least, and they are still sitting like this, and we need to unbox them. As you can see, we have this gigantic pile of packaging that we need to throw out, but we also have all of my frames ready to be put up. Yay!
I could be an American dog, waiting for affection from the hog it wants for dinner. I could be the hog with an awful fate. I could be the ceiling on your first blind date.
So one of my favorite things to do is buy frozen burgers and leave them in the freezer whenever I'm craving burgers, because fast food is like so expensive these days. So I made some burgers and I put some, they're just basic double cheeseburgers, and I made this kind of ketchup and mayo mix sauce for the burger as well, and I just use like basic grocery store buns too, and that was a delicious dinner. We also did a little bit of a paint night that day, and I drew the stuff on the left and he drew the stuff on the right. And yeah, the next day I ended up putting those two up, as you will see next. So, back to food. This day I ended up prepping actually some beef stew. Well, more on the drier end. And I marinated it with some spices. I think it was just like a spice mix I found at the Asian grocery store. I like to use like Asian spice mixes or like Indian spice mixes into my chicken or beef. So I did beef and I decided to prep it with some broccoli and some rice. With the rice, I actually ended up cooking it with some lentils to add extra protein. So I also added some pasta sauce I had. I like to add pasta. I basically add everything to my dishes. So yeah, this is pasta sauce going in with my stew to kind of reglaze the pan. So we just watched this movie called Together, and honestly, I was not expecting of what happened in the movie. Anyway, so it wasn't as horrific as I thought it would be. It was more like basically a metaphor on like relationships and like, you know, how do you know if you're with the right person? So it was a really interesting concept. I was really hyped about it anyway. So the first thing I have to do is look up a recipe, and apparently it says use flour because you want it to be a drier mix, but I don't have flour. So what I'm going to do is just reduce the amounts that they asked me to add. They asked, the recipe calls for half a cup of butter and 3 eggs and a box of cake mix. So the cake mix that they asked for is like the larger size, but I don't have the big box of cake mix. Mine's a little smaller apparently, which is this one. Let me just show you what I have. So this is the cake mix I have, and it says it's 13.25, which is slightly less than the 15.25 that it asks for. I don't know, maybe it's a typo. I don't care. But since I don't have flour, I'm just going to lessen the amount of liquids that I have in my mix. See, I was saying that it wouldn't be much of a problem since I don't have a lot of flour, but it turns out that it is a little bit of a problem that I don't have a lot of flour, because it's gonna stick to my hand and I have to be really careful about when I make this into a big log. Yeah, it's gonna be a wet dough. It will stick to my hands, and that's okay. Hopefully this will work out because I'm really craving biscotti. It's like the best thing to have with my coffee. So yeah, try my best to make this work. Okay, so basically now that I have it out, I cooked it for like 25-ish, maybe 20 minutes because it's just one big log. And I let it cool a little bit, and then I'm just basically cutting it into a biscotti shape. And after that, I'm just going to put it in the oven at a lower temperature for like maybe 5 minutes or so to like kind of toughen up. And oh, I should have let it cool for a little bit longer, so that's why it's splitting like that. Yeah, that's basically how one makes biscotti. That's literally it. I'll probably try it out. So I tried it out. So far it tastes fine. It's actually not as sweet as I thought it would be. So yeah, I'm just gonna pop it in the oven for just a little bit more so that it toughens up a little bit. Okay, guys, so I forgot to mention that I had to flip this over. I completely forgot. So I basically turned the oven off and just flipped them on their side and let them go on for, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. And so I think they're ready. So far they taste fine. I tasted it earlier, like 10-20 minutes ago. So I'm really excited. I'm just gonna store them in a box and have them for breakfast. Yay! We ended up going to Home Depot for some stuff, and then I decided why not just look at the plants again. And I ended up getting this small ficus that was on sale, and I also ended up getting a Hoya. I also ended up getting some new plant pots, so I decided to repot all my plants that day.
I'm sick of daydreaming, I just want the feeling of you in my bed. I'm down to just waste time right below your waistline. Want you by my head. just want the feeling of you in my bed. Can't spend time alone. Gave you my hoodie just so you can smell my cologne. Don't like all this distance. I want you close, I'm missing your existence. Fill my head with some clouds, baby. Fill my brain with some ecstasy. I'm sick of daydreaming. I just want the feeling of you in my bed. I'm down to just waste time right below your waistline. Want you by my head. I'm done with all this FaceTime. Need some alone time, baby. You're always running in my mind. I'm sick of daydreaming. I just want the feeling of you in my bed. I know you're tired of waiting, but my friends say that we need some patience. We don't wanna wait no more. Can't take breaks no more. I've needed company from you lately. Fill my head with some clouds, baby. Fill my brain with some ecstasy. I'm sick of daydreaming. I just want the feeling of you in my bed. I'm down to just waste time right below your waistline. Want you by my head. I'm done with all this FaceTime. Need some alone time, baby. You're always running in my mind. I'm sick of daydreaming. I just want the feeling of you in my bed.
So I have a funny story about these plants. Pretty much all the plants are doing pretty well. The only struggle I have right now is there's gnats and flies once in a while, and sometimes I just have to spray the plants down with some neem oil. But it's more of a weekly thing. The funny and sad part that I was saying is I really thought that I was able to take care of an herb plant in an apartment that doesn't get direct sunlight. Like, I get like good indirect sunlight, but not direct sunlight. And so I thought I was going to be able to take care of this rosemary plant. Turns out I didn't. Newsflash. So this plant is currently, I don't know what happened. It's just like fully dried out. I think it's because my apartment's really cold as well. So yeah, RIP.
I'm down to just waste time right below your waistline. Want you by my head. I'm done with all this FaceTime. Need some alone time, baby. You're always running in my mind. I'm sick of daydreaming. I just want the feeling of you in my bed. Can't spend time alone. Gave you my hoodie just so you can smell my cologne. Don't like all this distance. I want you close, I'm missing your existence. Fill my head with some clouds, baby. Fill my brain with some ecstasy. I'm sick of daydreaming. I just want the feeling of you in my bed. I'm down to just waste time right below your waistline. Want you by my head. I'm done with all this FaceTime. Need some alone time, baby. You're always running in my mind. I'm sick of daydreaming. I just want the feeling of you in my bed. I know you're tired of waiting, but say that we need some patience. We don't wanna wait no more. Can't take breaks no more. I've needed company from you lately. Fill my head with some clouds, baby. Fill my brain with some ecstasy. I'm sick of daydreaming. I just want the feeling of you in my bed. I'm down to just waste time right below your waistline. Want you by my head. I'm done with all this FaceTime. Need some alone time, baby. You're always running in my
Found this cute cafe near us called Paris Baguette, and like most bakery fashion nowadays, they have like really cute pastries and, you know, just baked goods